Welcome to the Market My STR show, the show made exclusively for short-term rental owners and co-hosts that actually works, so you can stop wasting time and money on short-term rental and co-hosting marketing strategies that don't work. Listen in for tips, tricks, and our book solid, move the needle, and core 4 marketing strategies. Here's your host, Scott Hill.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Market My STR show. This is actually supposed to be episode 15, but it's 14 because we had some bad luck with technology last week. We had Joe Roney on as a guest, and the reverb and the echoing on the recording we had made it not even usable. I could not fix it. So unfortunately, we're going to have Joe back, but we still have Jeremy here. Jeremy, welcome.
Thanks. How's it going? You have a good Thanksgiving yesterday, or not Thanksgiving, Halloween yesterday? Thanksgiving's next.
I had a good Halloween because all my kids are pretty much at the age where I stay home and I hand out candy.
Nice.
So me and the dog handed out candy, so that was fine.
Nice.
How about you?
Yeah, it was good. Liv was a duck, which worked out well because it was a little cold. So it was good that she was in like a full thing. And then we hung out with some neighbors. So yeah, it was a good night.
Very good. Okay, so for those of you who have never listened to the Market My STR show, this is a show devoted to helping STR hosts, owners, and in many cases, co-hosts and small property managers optimize how they run their business, how they get the most out of their properties, how to increase direct bookings, how to build better relationships, how to get control of your marketing. So Jeremy and I together are building a co-hosting company also on top of Market My STR's all-in-one marketing software. So it's a big piece of what we do, but we also have found that our journey to build a co-hosting company is not as easy as we would have hoped, but we are committed and determined to do it. So Jeremy, any thoughts on that so far?
No, I think you're spot on. I think that's the goal for sure.
That's the goal. So in this episode, we are going to literally take people under the hood, and we're going to on camera live here. We are going to strategize about how we are going to attack our market, specifically by cold calling owners in our market. The types of properties that we want to manage, we're building a list. So what are your initial thoughts on, and we kind of prepared for this, but tell me what you're doing, and tell those listening what you're doing to prepare for this strategy.
So the way that we're doing it is I've gone through AirDNA and I've gone through Price Labs and put together a list of I think we've probably got about 250 homes listings or so that, are homes that we would co-host and maybe have some potential issues specifically with their listings or in the reviews with the property management company. So what I'm trying to do is reach out and connect with these owners and trying to provide value where, potentially recommending some tweaks to their listings that they can then report back to the property manager, who probably isn't paying that much attention to the online travel agencies because they're directing everybody to their website. And with Airbnb being definitely the largest short-term rental marketing company in the US, potentially the world, it's crazy that they're not focused on it. So trying to, get some conversations going. I'm happy to say I've got 2 homeowners that are interested in chatting a little bit more. Neither of them are saying that they're ready to make a jump, but today I'm going to put together a template report that's basically like a OTA optimization report. And it's going to be what are some things that, they could tweak on Airbnb and VRBO to get more views. And I also just added those Airbnb listings to my Rank Breeze account so we can see how they're ranking currently in Airbnb. Wow. I have a feeling one of them's probably like top page 1, page 2. He's in watercolor. Just when I was talking to him, he finished a 6-month renovation before the start of the summer. And I think Price Labs is saying he's doing about $330 a year. And he's with, I think, Southern Hospitality Homes, has another year left on his contract, so he's not interested in moving, but is interested in seeing an optimization report and he thinks he knows that he's like the top revenue producer in that area. So he didn't ask for it, but I think I'm going to go that extra step and put a comp set together and see really where is he potentially landing. Because what was interesting was he said, he's not in love with the property management company, but he's stuck because of his contract, thinks they do excellent in revenue management, but he gave them a B- in operations and taking care of the house. So he's definitely at a minimum a lead for us to nurture here, even if it is 6 to 8, 10 months before he wants to make a change. But trying to just have conversations, and I'll say it's been going pretty well the last 2 days. It's a slow process for me and it's new, but had a couple of good conversations.
Man, that is awesome to hear. That's new to me. So that's under the hood stuff, guys, that as we build out our business, these are the types of things we're sharing with each other. Let's go through and let's lay out step by step. So if someone wants to sort of track along with us and build out their process, they like the way we're doing it, because I believe we're going to have success with it. Not because we're like burying our heads in the sand and hopeful, but because we're part of we're part of a mastermind group with 2 other guys who are doing it, and they're cold calling and they're having success. So highly recommend that we stay with this, right? So let's talk about step by step. What we're doing, step 1, is we're identifying the markets that we want to be in. And for us, I'm using the word markets, but it's because we're in a pretty big market, we're actually targeting communities specifically to start, right? So we are building out this, and what you've done is you've been a little bit more broad because you want to create a list of these properties that look like they might be able to be helped. Mm-hmm. And so that's across how many communities of our 12 communities that we're targeting?
It's probably about half or so. It's from inlet beach out to seaside / watercolor.
Okay, so that list is about 250. And then sort of in tandem with you, we are leveraging our VA, Kimmy. She's a valuable team member of ours, full-time VA that we have on staff for out there. We are leveraging her to help us build what we're calling really the master list of 38 tier 1 and tier 2 properties. So let's go through and talk about how we're building that out together and how we're going to like execute that together. So here are a couple things that I've pulled together. Number 1, you got to have like either a county appraiser website, or you got to have land ID, or you got to have something, because what you and I have decided is tier 1 and tier 2 means something to us, right?
Absolutely.
And those are the properties we're going to initially focus without knowing for sure if each of those properties is one of our target properties.
Right. And tier 1, tier 2 would apply really specifically to beach properties. Mountain properties might be a little different. You might be, distance to a ski lift. Lake properties, tier 1, tier 2 might also apply, right? You're on the lake or you're one back.
Yeah. So that's kind of our first resource. Our second resource is, because we're doing it by counties, we need like a zip code resource. I've always used a website called Randy Majors. And if you pull up a state map on Randy Majors, if you simply search on Google and you type in Florida zip code map, Randy Majors, whatever, it's going to come up with their site, and it's going to show you every single zip code in the entire state. And then if you zoom in, you can see it by county. And that's how I think what, you and I are going to do, where we say, Kimmy, by zip code, start creating a list using an appraiser website or land ID or something where you see the parcel, you see the exact address. We're going to start building those out by zip code. That's resource number 2. Then resource number 3, you and I know we're going to need a Google map, because what we want to do is we want to ensure that, to us anyway, and I'm not suggesting our definition should meet your definition if you're listening, but for us, tier 1, tier 2 has a distance component to it, right? We don't want anything outside of a certain distance.
Which is distance is beach access, right? Distance to beach access. So
distance to beach access for us.
And something that you've learned in the market is you might be close to the beach, but the path to get to beach access really limits what that property can do if it's a decent distance.
And that's what we talked about earlier. Like, listen, I don't think listen, Kimmy's great, but I'm not going to put Kimmy in a position where she slows down because she's going to have to start analyzing beach access, right? We're going to have Google Maps help us with, is this property literally point, whatever it is, what we decide from the beach, and then that's going to go on the initial list. So Kimmy can just roll. She can just roll through this appraiser website and get this master list of of properties. So that's resource number 3. And then resource number 4 is we're building a Google Sheet. Now, I've started to build it out. You're going to help me optimize that list, but that is going to become our list, because what you've learned is it's not always the best use of our team's time, and maybe Kimmy's just not an expert in this field of skip tracing. Talk about how you've made a decision to do a bit of a tweak on us using Kim for skip tracing.
Right. So it's not something that Kimmy's done a lot of, and I think she's done a good job. Probably the same level job that I would do if I was doing it, because I haven't done a ton of it. But with just getting a lot of phone numbers that were out of service, and actually what I've found today is I'm getting a bunch of previous homeowners from her stuff.
Oh.
So it was somebody who owned, like somebody sold in 2012 that I got, trying to continue the conversation with them. Oh, but do you now own and rent? And it's actually funny. The conversation seems to be, no, I live down here now full time, for those people, right? I guess they were renting and then said, okay, at some point we're going to move down. So was kind of having issues of getting in touch with people I wanted to get in touch with. I've mentioned before, I'm in the STR Secrets Mastermind. They have recommended somebody in those classes that through Fiverr that does skip trace. So I put together the list last week, got it to him over the weekend, and then on Wednesday he sent the list back, and I'm finding pretty good success with his list. Typically ends up being that first phone number that he has tends to be the cell of the direct person. Although I've also found that it may not be a cell, because I've spoken with the significant other, typically the wife of the person I'm calling, and had a few calls where it's, oh, well, we might be interested in that. How much would it cost? I tell them it's free. It's okay. I'll talk with Bob, my husband, and we'll circle back to you. So it's somebody I have to circle back to, but finding good success there. And then, like I said, as I'm confirming that I have the right homeowner, the right either phone number, if I can get the email from them on the phone, then I'm adding them into our Facebook ad list.
So you're kissing a lot of frogs, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So talk about Fiverr. How many skip traces do you get, and what's the cost?
Yeah, so I think the lowest that he has is up to 150, and on the weekend I think we gave him like 127 or so. He was like $25 for 150. Okay. So it's worth it.
That's well worth it,
right? Because that amount of time would take Kimmy quite a few days to go through 100 and something. And this is one of the things this guy is doing all the time. So it seems like he's got his system and got more resources than we're using or probably know of. And yeah, so far it's been promising. So I think we're just going to keep feeding it to him, right? And hopefully he can turn them around and we can keep making calls.
Yeah. So let's talk about the opportunity cost of this. You setting aside time in your schedule is an opportunity cost. Like you are worth a certain amount of money per hour based on what your income is. And then that's really, quote, out of pocket, although it's not out of pocket. Right. That's the only cost right now, right? Because we have a Market My STR account that we're putting. There's a cost to that. But our tech stack is Market My STR. You are calling, so your opportunity cost of actually setting aside the time and to make the calls. But other than that, all the other resources, plus the skip tracing of $20 for every, let's say, 125 prospects, and our VA. Those are the costs we have associated with this project we're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's that. So we are assembling that. I think we'll make a weekly practice, because this is not something that we're going to stop doing. We're going to make calls. The other side of this cold call project, and I wouldn't classify it as much cold calling, is we're going to start outreach to realtors too. So there's going to be 3 phases. Yeah, which I've been doing. So there's 3 phases, and I forgot to mention the second part of this. You mentioned the first part. You're going to make the calls to 250 people that need issues or that may have issues and may
Mhm.
get help. I'm going to be calling every other single homeowner
Right.
just to say hello and let them know we exist, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're going to now go into a little bit of fun role play. You're going to share what you're actually saying to these owners when you cold call, and I am going to share with you something I created last night. But I will tell you, going into this part of our episode, is that it sounds like you're having enough success where I think I'll probably use your script too, but we'll have a little fun with an alternate script and see what you think.
Yeah. And I'm very new to cold calling, right? And sales in general. So my original plan, I talked about this a couple weeks ago on one of the pods, was kind of using an approach similar to what you were doing with realtors and saying I was referred to you by ChatGPT and seeing how that goes. So I did that with the first few calls and didn't get a ton of success. And
Yep.
it probably just didn't align, as well with homeowners as it does with realtors who are, want to be out there and,
Right.
being recommended by people. So, um, I've been looking at some of Jeremy Miner's stuff, which I highly recommend. I was, Bill Faith initially, I think, brought him up on one of the, either calls for Inner Circle or one of the in-person events. So I bought one of his books, and a few other people are following his stuff, but he's really good at sales. Highly recommend check out his YouTube page. I'm going to continue to see his stuff and watch his stuff and try and improve, but I really just have a very simple intro script that I've been using. And it's really just to get the conversation started. And then I kind of go off onto my own thing, but I'm going to try and tweak that a little bit to try and put up some more guardrails because I've seen the conversation shift in directions that I'm not really trying it to go in. And then I try and bring it back. So the, the one that I listened to the other day and is what I'm using, um, he calls the confused old man script. Right. So he's like, instead of calling and starting out and being like, ring, 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 you answer the phone. They say, hey, this is Jeremy Levine and I'm with XYZ company, right? I'm with Aldvair. Immediately you're a sales guy and guardrails go up and they say, oh, I'm not interested, hang up as quickly as possible. So this one is a little bit different. So it goes a little bit like if I'm calling you, Scott, ring, ring.
I'm the homeowner.
Yeah.
Dude, I hope to be a luxury homeowner on 38. So let's just
We'll get
pretend
there.
for now. Yeah.
Right. So, ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Scott?
Yes.
Hey, so it's just Jeremy with Altvair. I was wondering, if possibly you could help me out for a minute.
Yeah. May I ask you why you're calling?
Yeah, well, so I'm not totally sure if you're the right person that I should be talking to, but I'm looking to speak with the owner of 123 Main Street. Just
Yeah.
looking to see if they're aware of some possible issues, with their OTA listings, Airbnb and VRBO. So I was wondering if you would be that right person to talk to.
Yes, I own the property.
Oh, great. Well, it sounds like you would be the right person to talk to. I represent a luxury co-hosting company, and we were reviewing OTA listings of an owner in your area, helping them to optimize those listings and give information back to their property manager. And we came across yours and thought there was some room for improvement. And we're just, interested in seeing if you were opposed to having a brief conversation around that. Maybe there's something we can do to help you improve the performance of your property.
Nice. Yeah, that was good. Well, go into why you are specific about the "are you opposed" kind of thing.
Because they're most likely inclined to say no to things, right? When it's a
That's a
sales
Jeremy
call.
Miner trick, right?
Right. So in this situation, you want them to say no, right? Are you opposed to this? No. Oh, great. Okay, awesome. Let's get you in the calendar. So seems to be working pretty well. And I will say, when I do that first, are you willing to possibly help me out for a minute? It is like a little bit of a pause, and then I do get like a sure, or a couple of the ones that I've gotten is like, well, it really depends on what you need. And I go into it, and for the most part, I've been able to have some conversations. So it seems to be working. And I think as I get better and better at it, it should,
If that's
success
exactly
rate
how
should
you
improve.
if that's exactly how you're doing it, and you're having conversations, man, I'd stick with it. The only thing I thought of when you did it was you almost you lost a bit of a ability to have the confused old man thing go forward, because
Yeah.
you first asked who I was, so you knew, like, kind of thing, instead of like,
Right.
hey, yeah, I might not be in the right place here, or this might not be the right number. I'm sorry
Yeah.
if this isn't, but um, is this Jeremy? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so you
Sure.
get just as you talked it out, I thought, because then you went, into the, like, I'm not sure I'm in the right place, but the dude was like, well,
Yeah.
you just asked me my name, so I'm
Right.
in the right place, kind of thing.
Right. And I guess it's more of like, yeah, clarifying, do I have the right number? That's kind of where that's,
Yeah.
leading
Yeah.
towards, right? Of like, I don't know if this is the right number, but,
Right.
is this Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're
Yeah. Yeah.
like, and I'm sorry, like, you're already apologizing for
Right. And
bothering them.
then,
And that's total confused old
right.
man,
And then
right?
the other thing Jeremy Minor does is he's like, oh, you want to be like, oh, it's just Jeremy with alt there. Because then
Okay.
it's like, oh, wait, should I know Jeremy? Like, it's just
Right.
Jeremy? Okay. Maybe I know him.
So
Um,
that word just is really
yeah.
important. You
Hmm.
really, okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah. Or just kind of coming across as like you might be somebody that they already know. Because then they're,
Well, I think the
they're like,
important thing is, however you're doing it, you're getting results. You're having
yeah,
conversations with you. In other words, what we all know or think about cold calls is, you're like, hey, this is Jeremy, click, and they just
right,
hang up on you, right? You don't get
right.
anywhere.
And that was the very first call I had mentioned that I had was to a woman, really
All
nice
right.
property, and she couldn't get off fast enough. It tried to derail anything I was saying, was very upset. I interrupted her tennis match. So, yeah, that was when I was trying to use the chat GPT method. But I think it was just a combination of maybe that method didn't work so well. Plus she just wasn't happy to talk to anybody.
Well, I love the fact that that script is, sort of focused on the 250 that really, in your professional opinion, you've got 5 years of experience in the industry. There is something, at least one thing that you've noticed that could, benefit them in some way.
Yeah.
Add
And I
real
will
value.
say, I also have some on the list that I've skipped over because I was like, this is a beautiful property. This script kind of doesn't work because they're actually doing a pretty good job. Right.
Yeah.
So, there really isn't much value that I could give to them. And maybe those people then just go on the general list instead of this specific one. Or there's a different script and a different way to go ahead and propose helping.
Well, I'm going to share my script idea
Yeah.
with you last night. I'm going to try to change it on the fly to add the words you said are so critical. It might
Okay.
not work, but we're going to try it. Ring,
Love it.
ring.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, I'm not. My name's Scott. I'm not sure I'm in the right place, and I'm sorry if I'm calling the wrong number. But is
Okay.
this Jeremy?
Yeah. This is Jeremy.
Are you still the owner of 123 Main Street?
I am. Yes. What can I do
Okay.
for you?
So again, yeah. My name is just Scott here from Altver. We're a boutique co-hosting company. But a quick question, or I want to know: would you be opposed to me asking you three quick questions? Only take 30 seconds.
No. I guess not.
Okay. Um, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with your current property manager?
I would say like maybe a 7.5 or an 8.
Okay. Are you familiar? This is question number 2. Are you familiar with our 30-day luxury property income analysis?
I am not. No.
Okay. Would it be helpful? This last question: would it be helpful if you knew what your property is capable of, and also if we shared the 4 most important questions every property manager should have to answer?
Sure. I think my property manager is probably getting the revenue that the property should be hitting, but yeah, I'd be interested in seeing, some information about that.
Okay, that's all I had. Normally, it takes us about an hour to provide you with this, and I'm happy to do it. So, what would be the best email to use to send it to you?
Cool. Yeah, it would be jeremyblevine@gmail.com.
That was my idea.
Perfect. Yeah, no, it's good. It's similar along the same lines, right? I think so your three questions were the first one. Sorry, repeat again. What was the first one?
So here's what I've learned. There's a Bain and Company did what they call a net promoter score.
Hmm.
And they created this thing. It's a scale 1 to 10. And what they learned was this is the most powerful thing they've ever found to help a small business owner get feedback in a quick way where someone's willing to just give a number. But what they
Hmm.
found was if the person responds with a 9 or 10, they are genuinely really happy with
Right.
their
Makes sense. Yeah.
if they respond with anything less than 9 or 10, they're either being nice or they're
Right.
genuinely unhappy. That's what
Yeah.
they learned. So that's
Right.
why that question's so powerful. I've got a lot of mileage out of that as a small
Sure.
business owner.
No, makes
So,
sense.
but that's the first question was on a scale of 1 to 10, just simply how happy are you with your current property then? You know?
Yeah. No, I think that's a good question because if they're not happy, they're going to let you know. And it's easy
And,
for them to
and,
do
and
that versus being like, here are all my problems.
right. And then because Bain and Company, there's so much research behind it. I know and knew instantly that when you did 7, I knew you're open for a change.
Right.
Because that's what
Right.
Bain and Company says. If it's under 8, literally if
Yeah.
it's under 9,
Right.
those are the T numbers. So
Yeah, I
that
like that.
that could be pretty powerful. And again,
Something.
we're talking about 2 different phone calls.
Yeah.
I do think your script is probably better when it comes to someone who's dissatisfied, someone who already has issues that you, the expert, are going to be able to help them with. I don't know.
Right.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully. I think one question you could maybe ask because in the conversations that I've had, and it's only a few, they don't know what co-hosting is. Right.
Mm.
So like there's another opportunity to be like, have you heard of
Oh, brilliant.
co-hosting, in lieu of property management? And then like, oh, well, what is that? And then, you can go into all the advantages and maybe you're catching their interest a little bit more or piquing their interest a little
Yeah.
bit more to
I'm going to put
continue
that
that
as a
conversation.
question. I think it'd be
Yeah.
like a test environment where you're like, are you familiar with co-hosting?
Yeah.
Um, but I'm looking for like really easy yes no questions because that sets the tone for identifying a prospect that might have a problem versus the person who's like, I'm
Right.
fine. I don't want to have a conversation with you because A, it's a 9 or 10. B, I don't care about like this analysis. And C, I don't,
Yeah.
like the rest is really moot. And frankly, like I might say like, hey, would you be opposed to having me ask you up to 3 questions? Because if they're happy with their property manager, 9 or 10, I don't need to bother them anymore. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's not that
But
important. But
there's still value in that call because now
yeah,
we know that they are the homeowner. We at a minimum have their phone number and then they go on our Facebook ad list. And over the next 6 to 12 months, they're going to be seeing us hopefully in their feed. And at some point, their contract's going to be up. Maybe something does happen. And we're hopeful that, we're the ones that they're seeing on a regular basis. So they're staying top of mind.
yeah. I'm writing down these 2 questions here as we just talk it out, which, if I say 3, maybe I've got 5, 6, 7. I just test 3 at a time.
Yeah.
You know what I
Or
mean?
maybe when they say, yeah, right. They be tested.
Yeah.
And maybe if they say yes to one thing, you can go in a different direction with other questions versus them saying no. Maybe it's less questions, but still being able to get something out of them that's valuable to us for whether it's Facebook ads or just to follow back up.
Yeah, and based on my experience, as long as I got that first one asked and I knew what number they had, if it was
Yeah.
under 8 or under 9, I'm sorry that we've got ourselves a prospect and we just have to nurture him correctly at that point.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's the
all
whole.
right, well, that's pretty cool.
Problem.
Anything else you'd like to share about what we're starting off on, which is our cold calling
So
strategy?
I think what I've realized this week is the mistake that we made. You did a great job of cold calling realtors pretty quickly off the bat. We didn't with homeowners until now, um, which I've noticed an uncomfortable thing for me, but I'm already feeling more comfortable with it just 2 days in or 3 days in, 3 calls in, three sessions of calls in. But I think anybody that is building a co-hosting business, get this list together. You have to do the person of interest thing. I think that is going to pay off long term for us. The ads we're doing and being in front of people, but make that connection with someone, even if they're not interested right now. They've now heard your name. They've heard your company name. You can confirm their information, and now you make sure that they're on your Facebook ad list, because each person I spoke to were not on our list. Right.
Right.
So now they're on their list. I put them on right away. And hopefully they're now getting the ads that I posted this week. I did that tried to still image versus a video this time. And I actually, because the one property where the guy's, revenue is over 300, he's in Seaside. I didn't have Seaside as its own separate town broken out, but now I do, because I want to be really specific. Even if he's one of 250 people in there and he's the only one who's really seeing it, that's fine.
That's right.
So,
all right, cool. Well, we hope this helps y'all who are listening, that encourages you, gives you some actionable resources and things that you can use to get more co-hosting clients. And let us know if there's anything we can do to help. That's great. But other than that, we will see everyone. And Jeremy, we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah, next week. Thanks, everybody.